This is the rule for the assembly of the camps. Those who follow these statutes in the age of wickedness until the coming of the Messiah of Aaron and Israel shall form groups of at least 10 men by thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. And where the 10 are, there shall never be lacking a priest learned in the book of meditation. They shall all be ruled by him. But should he not be experienced in these matters, whereas one of the Levites is experienced in them, then it shall be determined that all the members of the camp shall go and come according to the latter's word. But should there be a case of applying the law of leprosy to a man, then the priest shall come and shall stand in the camp, and the guardian shall instruct him in the exact interpretation of the law. Even if the priest is a simpleton, it is he who shall lock up the leper, for theirs is the judgment. This is the rule for the guardian of the camp. He shall instruct the congregation in the works of God. He shall cause them to consider his mighty deeds and shall recount all the happenings of eternity to them according to their explanation. He shall love them as a father loves his children and shall carry them in all their distress like a shepherd his sheep. He shall loosen all the fetters which bind them, that in his congregation there may be none that are oppressed or broken. He shall examine every man entering his congregation with regard to his deeds, understanding, strength, ability, and possessions, and shall inscribe him in his place according to his rank in the lot of light. No member of the camp shall have authority to admit a man to the congregation against the decision of the guardian of the camp. No member of the covenant of God shall give or receive anything from the sons of dawn or of the pit, except for payment. No man shall form any association for buying and selling without informing the guardian of the camp, and shall act on his advice, and they shall not go astray. Likewise, he who marries a woman must also seek the guardian's advice. Likewise, he who divorces his wife must seek the guardian's counsel, and the guardian shall instruct their sons and their daughters in a spirit of humility and loving kindness, and shall not keep anger towards them. This is the rule for the assembly of the camps during all the age of wickedness, and whoever does not hold fast to these statutes shall not be fit to dwell in the land when the Messiah of Aaron and Israel shall come at the end of days. And these are the precepts in which the master shall walk in his commerce with all the living until God shall visit the earth. As he said, there shall come upon you, and upon your people, and upon your father's house, days such as have not come since Ephraim departed from Judah. But for whoever shall walk in these precepts, the covenant of God shall stand firm to save him from all the snares of the pit, whereas the foolish shall be punished. The rule for the assembly of all the camps. They shall all be enrolled by name. First the priests, second the Levites, third the Israelites, and fourth the proselytes. And they shall be inscribed by name, one after the other. The priests first, the Levites second, the Israelites third, and the proselytes fourth. And thus shall they sit and thus be questioned on all matters. The priest who is appointed to head the congregation shall be from 30 to 60 years old, learned in the book of meditation and in all the judgments of the law, so as to pronounce them correctly. The guardian of all the camps shall be from 30 to 50 years old, one who has mastered all the secrets of men and the languages of all their clans. Whoever enters the congregation shall do so according to his word, each in his rank. And whoever has anything to say with regard to any suit or judgment, let him say it to the guardian. This is the rule for the congregation by which it shall provide for all its needs. They shall place the earnings of at least 2 days out of every month into the hands of the guardian and the judges, and from it they shall give to the fatherless, and from it they shall succor the poor and the needy, the aged sick and the man who is stricken with disease, the captive taken by a foreign people, the virgin with no near kin, and the maid for whom no man cares. And this is the exact statement of the assembly. This is the exact statement of the statutes in which they shall walk until the coming of the Messiah of Aaron and Israel, who will pardon their iniquity. Whoever deliberately lies in a matter of property and shall do penance for 6 days. Whoever slanders his companion or bears rancor unjustly shall do penance for 1 year. For the master to instruct the sons of light to keep away from the ways of wickedness until the completion of the appointed time for the visitation of the spirit of injustice. God will destroy all her deeds, bringing destruction on the removers of boundaries, and he will inflict destruction on the assembly of wickedness. And now listen to me, and I will let you know the awesome designs of God and his marvelous mighty deeds. I will recount to you all that is concealed from man all the days of his life, I flesh and creature, until it comes to them, for they shall not be either early or late from their appointed times. He decreed an age of wrath for the people who did not know him, and he established appointed times of goodwill for those who search his commandments and walk in the perfection of way. And he revealed hidden things to their eyes, and opened their ears so that they might hear deep secrets and understand all future things before they befall them. Listen now, all you who know righteousness. Initiation rules, that they may bring near each according to his spirit and deeds. They shall depart by the decision of the guardian. And these are the precepts in which all the converts of Israel shall walk, the sons of Zadok, the priests. Behold, they are the converts of Israel, the interpretation of the last law. And these are the precepts for the master in which he shall walk in regard to all Israel. For God shall not save any of those who are not established in his ways to walk perfectly. Whoever speaks too fast or too quietly or swift or light with his tongue or with a staccato voice and does not split his words to make his voice heard, no one from among these shall read the book of the law, that he may not misguide someone in a capital matter. Any man from among the sons of Aaron who has been taken prisoner by the nations, to defile him with their uncleanness, he shall not come close to the holy worship. Let him not eat the most holy things. Any son of Aaron who retreats to serve the nations, to teach his people the constitution of the people, and also to betray. Any son of Aaron whose name has been rejected from the truth, who has walked in the stubbornness of his heart, eating from the holy things from Israel, the counsel of the sons of Aaron, who eats, he shall become guilty of the blood, in genealogy. And this is the rule for the dwelling of the towns of Israel, for the men of holiness in their camps and in their towns in all. Diagnosis of skin disease, a discoloration or a scab or a bright spot, and the scab resulting from a blow by wood or stone or whatever blow, when the spirit enters and seizes the artery and the blood recedes up and down and the artery. After the blood, and the priest shall observe the skin, the living and the dead. If the dead exceeds the living, he shall lock him up until the blood returns to the artery and the flesh grows. And the priest shall observe him and shall make a comparison on the 7th day. And if the spirit of life is moving up and down and the flesh grows, the plague is healed, clean as the scab. The priest shall not observe the skin on the flesh. But if the discoloration or the scab is lower than the skin, and the priest sees it as the appearance of living flesh, it is a leprosy which has seized the living skin. And a similar rule concerning the priest shall see on the 7th day. If some living flesh has become dead, the leprosy is malignant. And the law for the scab of the head or the beard, when the priest shall see that the spirit has entered the head, and the beard seizing the artery, and the plague spreads from under the hair and turns its appearance to fine yellow. For it is like a plant which has a worm under it and bites its root and makes its flower wither. And as for that which is said, and the priest shall order that they shave his head, but shall not shave the scab. This is in order that the priest may count the dead and live hair. And he will see whether anything has been added from the live to the dead hair during the 7 days. If there has, he is unclean. But if nothing has been added from the live hair to the dead, and the artery is filled with blood and the spirit of life goes up and down in it, this plague is cured. And this is the rule of the law of leprosy for the sons of Aaron to set apart, and the law concerning a man with a flux. Any man with a flux issuing from his flesh, or one that causes a lewd thought to arise, or the woman, the man who approaches her, will have the sin of menstrual uncleanness on him. And if she sees blood again, and this is not during the uncleanness of 7 days, she shall not eat sacred food, and shall not enter the sanctuary until the sun has set on the 8th day. And a woman who conceives and bears a male child shall be unclean for 7 days like in her menstrual days. On the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. She shall continue for 33 days in the blood of her purifying. But if she bears a female child, she shall be unclean for a fortnight as in her menstruation. For 66 days she shall continue in her blood of purifying, and she shall not eat sacred food, and shall not enter the sanctuary, for it is a capital crime. Let her give the child to a wet nurse who is in purity. And if she cannot afford a lamb, then she shall take a turtle dove or a young pigeon, and she shall substitute it for the lamb. Rules concerning gleanings and agricultural priestly dues. Concerning gleanings of grain and the gleanings of grapes from the vineyard. A cluster is up to 10 berries, and all the gleanings of grain up to a seah per betseah. And a field which produces no seed is not subject to a levy of terumah offering or of fallen grapes or of clusters up to 10 berries. And for the harvest of olives and the fruit of its produce, if it is complete, isolated olives are 1 in 30. But if the field was ravaged or consumed by burning, should the amount remaining be a seah per betseah, it is to be tithed. If one person gleans 1 seah from it one day, the terumah will be 1 izaran, concerning the 2 loaves of the terumah. All the families of Israel, those who eat the bread of the land, are to offer the terumah once a year. 1 loaf shall be 1 izaran. All sacred offerings from the planting of vineyards and all fruit trees producing food shall belong to them, the priests, as is decreed for them, in the Holy Land and in the land of their sojourn. And afterwards they may sell of them to buy. A man may plant, in the 4th year he may not eat of it, for they sanctified it in that year. He shall take off from the grain of the threshing floor 1/10 of a homer, that is 1 ephah or bath, as is established. The ephah and the bath are both the same measure. And from the wheat 1/6 of an ephah out of a homer, and 1/10 of a bath for the fruit of trees. Let no one separate himself by offering 1 lamb out of 100. Let no man eat from the threshing floor and from the garden before the priests have stretched out their hand to bless first. A house belonging to a man he may sell and with, and he shall be innocent. Let no man bring to his pure food, neither shall he bring close to his pure food any gold or silver or copper or tin or lead from which the nations have made idols, except new metal coming straight from the furnace. Let no man bring any leather or garment or any vessel which is used for work, and which has been defiled by the corpse of a man, unless they were sprinkled according to the law of purity with the water for uncleanness in the age of wickedness, by a man pure of all uncleanness, who has allowed the sun to set. No young man who has not yet reached the age to pass the muster shall sprinkle. The penal code and the renewal of the covenant ritual. He shall be excluded for 200 days and do penance for 100 days. But if it was a capital matter and he bears a grudge, he shall not return again. And whoever has insulted his companion without a reason shall be excluded for 1 year and do penance for 6 months. Whoever has spoken a foolish word shall do penance for 20 days and will be excluded for 3 months. And whoever interrupts the words of his companion and lets himself go will do penance for 10 days. And whoever lies down and falls asleep at the meeting of the congregation shall be excluded for 30 days and do penance for 10 days. And likewise, whoever has left without the consent of the congregation, and gratuitously as many as 3 times in one session, he shall do penance for 10 days. But if he has left the session when they were standing, he shall do penance for 30 days. And whoever has walked naked before his companion, whether he has walked in the house or in the field, he has walked naked before the people. He shall be excluded for 6 months. And whoever has drawn his hand from under his garment, and he was so poorly dressed that his nakedness was seen, he shall be separated for 30 days and shall do penance for 10. And whoever has guffawed foolishly, making his voice heard, shall be excluded for 30 days and shall do penance for 15 days. And whoever has drawn out his left hand to gesticulate with it shall do penance for 10 days. And whoever has gone slandering his companion, they shall exclude him from the purity for 1 year and shall do penance for 6 months. But whoever has slandered the congregation shall be expelled and shall not return again. If he has murmured against his companion unjustly, he shall do penance for 6 months. And the man whose spirit has so trembled before the authority of the community that he has betrayed the truth and walked in the stubbornness of his heart, he shall be excluded for 2 years and do penance for 60 days. When his 2 years are completed, the congregation shall consider his case, and if he is admitted, he shall be inscribed in his rank and may then question about the law. And whoever has despised the law of the congregation shall leave and shall not return again. And whoever has taken his food from another person outside the rules, he shall return it to the man from whom he has taken it. And whoever has approached his wife, not according to the rules, thus fornicating, he shall leave and will not return again. If he has murmured against the fathers, he shall leave and shall not return again. But if he has murmured against the mothers, he shall do penance for 10 days. For the mothers have no distinction within the congregation, and these are the rules in which they shall walk, all those who have been corrected. Whoever comes to report someone to the priest overseeing the congregation, he shall willingly accept his judgment, as he has ordered by the hand of Moses regarding the soul that sins by inadvertence, that he shall bring his sin offering and his guilt offering. And concerning Israel it is written, I will go to the ends of heaven and will not smell the smell of your sweet odor. And in another passage it is written, to return to God with crying and fasting. And in another passage it is written, rend your heart and not your garment. And it is written to return to God with fasting and weeping. And whoever rejects these rules which follow all the precepts found in the law of Moses shall not be counted with all the sons of his truth, for his soul has detested the righteous corrections. As a rebel he shall be dismissed from the congregation. The priest overseeing the congregation shall speak about him. Answering he shall say, Blessed art thou, Lord of the universe. Everything is in thine hands, and thou art the maker of everything. Thou hast founded the peoples according to their families and the languages of their nations. Thou hast made them err in confusion without a way. And thou hast chosen our fathers, and hast given to their seed the precepts of thy truth and thine holy judgments, by which a man, if he practices them, shall live. And thou hast established boundaries for us, and cursed those who transgress them. And we are the people of thy redemption and the flock of thy pasture. Thou hast cursed those who transgress it, but we maintain it. And the dismissed man shall leave, and whoever eats from what is his, and greets and inquires about the welfare and shalom of the man who has been dismissed, and agrees with him, his case shall be recorded by the guardian according to the decree, and his judgment shall be complete. And all the inhabitants of the camps shall assemble in the 3rd month, and shall curse him who turns aside, to the right or to the left from the law. And this is the interpretation of the laws which they shall observe in all the age of visitation, which will be visited on them during all the age of wrath and in their marches, for all those who dwell in their camps and all their towns. Behold, all this is according to the last interpretation of the law.